Hello. In one of my previous videos, I said something that people hadn't really heard, or they hadn't heard that way. I'm sure they've heard it, but didn't make the connection. That I had said expectations are resentments under construction. And I actually got a lot of feedback and emails on this, and I want to talk about this concept of expectations. Expectations are the quickest way to a bitter, disappointed, and disillusioned life. Nothing will ever affect your health, affect your optimism, affect your childhoodness or childlikeness. Nothing will affect your aging process like constantly being disappointed and disillusioned because you had either unrealistic expectations or expectations that had no basis in this thing called reality. Why do people study Taoism and Buddhism and Sufism? And I don't mean the ones that, read a book called the Tao of Pooh, or they read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance and go, oh, that's deep. I'm talking about the ones like myself, like my disciples, like the Dalai Lama, these people who put on the robes and live this way every day of our life. How do we do it every single day without becoming jaded, without becoming screw the world, without becoming, the world sucks, right? In the yogi tradition, there's something called the Kali Yuga, right? There's the Golden Age, there's the Silver Age, there's the Bronze Age, and there's the Iron Age, or the Kali Yuga. And everything's terrible in the Kali Yuga. And so we're in the Golden Age, everybody, 95% of everybody is striving and working towards spiritual enlightenment and cultivation. Can you think about what the world would be if everybody cared about that? And then at the inverse of that, on the Iron Age, the Kali Yuga, you have only 5% struggling and 95% like, who cares? So what happens during that time when 95% of people are like, I don't care. What does it mean to me? The 5% could become very disillusioned. I'll be honest with you, many of them do. And I get people of all sorts of faiths and backgrounds and practices who tell me, yeah, I'm a solitary practitioner. It's all screwed up out there. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. The world has not changed. The world is the same. This tree will never know what this election or that election. It doesn't care. It sees the world as it is. It sees the world as the sun, as a blue sky. Here's my roots. It's up to me to stand tall, put my roots deep, and be what I am. And if somebody doesn't like me, overlook me. I'm just a tree. These very simple, profound things that a tree masters, humans don't, because humans are stuck in the illusion of their mind. The tree does not have expectations. The tree simply takes it moment by moment. This is what we talked about in the Wu Wei before. The grass doesn't strive to grow. It just effortlessly grows. If you don't like it, well, that's fine. If you cut it, okay, that too. It isn't an apathetic, oh, I don't care about life. It simply accepts life what it is because it does not have the expectations to tell them how life should be. It sees it for what it is and says, well, based on what I have, what can I do? Moms are an amazing example of what's possible. They come home, they're exhausted, long day. Now it's time to go from being whatever they were at work to being chief bottle washer and head cook. And they open the fridge and, I didn't get to the grocery store. What's in the fridge? And with the least amount of things in the fridge, they can make some of the most amazing things. Why? Because they don't have an expectation of what it should be like. They just know, I need to feed my family. I love my family. Let me make something. And they do. And the expectation is to love their family, not that it's a 5-star menu that, somebody on Top Chef would be proud of. When we have a belief that how it should be or how this ought to be, we take away the possibilities of what is and what could be. When we say, well, these are my resources, this is all I have, if we become resourceful and say, well, based on this, what could I do? There's a really great show, some of you may have seen it or not, it's called, I believe it's called Chopped. And they get a basket of this weird ingredients and they have to make something of it. Life is just like that show. It's going to give you weird ingredients and you have to go, what do I do with it? Well, the answer is, what do you do with it? Not what do I would do with it, not what do other people, not what do mom and dad. They're not going to be the one opening the basket, are they? You are. What do you do with it? What is your nature? If you're like, well, I expect that this has chicken and a box with a recipe and pre-measured. If you expect life to be that way and you open it and it's tamarind paste, anchovies, kale, and, baklava, phyllo dough. By the way, those of you who do something with that, send me pictures of it and you're welcome. But those people who open that, they're going to go, what am I supposed to do with this? And the answer is this new question: what do you want to do with it? If you say, but I don't know what to do with it, then you know that the only answer is you need to ask yourself is why haven't I been learning cooking skills? Why am I opening a basket on a show called Chopped and I don't know how to cook? This life out here requires skills of you. They require skills. They don't require knowledge. No one's going to ask if you know the Pythagorean theorem when they want to date you. You know what they're going to ask? Are you a good person? They're going to ask, are you kind? No one's going to ask you when you're helping them in a car accident. No one's going to say, do you know what a quadratic equation is? They don't care. They care, are you going to be here and hold my hand until either the ambulance comes or death comes? That's what they're going to ask. That's the skills. It's the day to day to day. Yes, we have to have skills in vocation and all those things, and people really want that, and that's making a living, but what about making a life? The skills necessary are outside of your expectations because you can't expect what's going to happen in life, hence it's called life and not this show or that show. It's called life. And when you lose your expectations, the only thing you need to first do is raise your standards of who you want to be as a quality of person. It doesn't matter if you cultivate in a cave, doesn't matter if you're the holiest guy on the mountain, doesn't matter if you're a guy who puts 5 cents in the nickel, box over there for the poor. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you are to yourself and to other people day to day. Okay? I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment, hit like, or share. You can email me at lau@fourdragonschool.com. Until then, we'll see you next time.